Welcome to the Retest channel. Today, I have prepared a very nice situation for you where we have a classic breaker retest with trading 2 to 1, which turned out beautifully. And because I am a trader with breaker retest with pullbacks, throwbacks, so I keep noticing these situations further. Here it creates a corrective structure, so I mark the lower support. It broke out with some gap, but immediately returned back. It tested the lower zone. We will show how the upper zone looks as I perceive it. I think I perceive it somewhere like this. And at this moment, we are moving inside between one and the other zone. So, of course, I would like it because the zone is clear. If there was an impulsive breakout here, then a retest of the zone and the price would run up. That would be my trading case. And the same if it happened downward, tested and went downward. Since there is quite an uptrend here and it's just resting, it's like a flag. So I definitely think it will most likely run upward in the near future, but we'll wait for the development of what happens here as we observe the situation carefully and closely unfold. So it tested. I'm looking at the upper part, tested again once more, thoroughly and precisely. A little bit of a struggle with that zone. Already like a pass through, but a return back, I understand. Nothing dramatic. And this is exactly what we are actually waiting for. That impulsive breakthrough into some zone. And you know that I need to wait for X number of candles here for it to be considered a pullback. So that it isn't that impulsive. Breakthrough back. So that it isn't a false break. Let's see what happened with the next candles. Ping. Oh. Return to the structure. Ping. At this moment, actually, let me zoom in for you. At this moment, the right shoulder has already made a higher swing. It's already creating a higher swing than the left shoulder. Here we are already higher than here. This means an impulsive breakout, an immediate return back, and therefore for me, at this moment, it is a completely valid false break. And I know how to trade it. I have it in school, I know how to trade it. That means how can such a false break be traded? Very simply. For this false, here is the zone, here it still is. Here it is, even on the ground. The swept zone, here is the false breakout zone. I place a pending order on the zone. I trade 2 to 1, which means I need to have at least a 2 to 1 take profit. This seems to me to be a reasonably safe stop loss. A conservative trader would need to place it up to here beyond the entire false break. But I am an aggressive trader. I am capable of placing it beyond the zone. Into some safety. I can't place it too close. Into some safety. This is what safety means to me. And I speculate that it will probably return back and then bounce here, trigger my pending order and carry me outwards. Usually notice when you see some corrective structure that is here. And you see a false break here. That false break is simple. Here it simply needs to collect the liquidity that is below the zone. So a big player just reaches here, takes out these stop losses, collects the liquidity, and actually starts here. The intention wasn't to go down, but to go up. He needed the liquidity to have someone to sell those orders to. This means it got below the zone with this. It charged up, and actually, thanks to this, the price impulsively returned immediately because a huge number of orders were placed here. Now the price, well, there's always an impulsive move, then there's a corrective part. This means now there will be a correction, it will pick us up somewhere here, and it should run upwards. My experience is such that when I see a corrective part and I see a false break there, usually the price moves upwards. This means when I see a false break down here, the price shoots upwards from the corrective part. Exactly the opposite. If there was, and this is like a small false break, this is the impulsive, nice false break. I don't consider this a false break. It's more like testing the zone, or rather refining the zone. Here it's about the false break. Here it's impulsive, impulsive back, retest, and I think it should shoot upwards here. If it were the opposite and the impulsive move here was a proper false break, it would escape downwards, but that's not the case here. In this case, I think there will be a retest of this false verification zone, and the price will start moving upwards. That means even if you set up the trade here somewhere back and speculated on a breakout or through the zone, which I personally don't feel like doing, but you might, maybe yes, and you plan the 2-to-1 ratio upwards here, it's not wrong. I'm just more inclined towards shorter distances. That means I would like to stay in the zone and look at the 2-to-1 zone. My also standard setup. So let's take a look at what the market brings us, whether it will really behave as expected or not. Yes, beautifully, it went up again, just as we had anticipated. Now, I would really appreciate it if it could pick up the pending order that we have been waiting for. It's currently testing the zone again, which is quite interesting to observe. This behavior is something we have seen before, and it often leads to significant developments. So now it picked up the order, it even touched the zone. That means it stayed in the zone, and I have the age of 1 resolved. And now let's just take a look. If the setup was really for that conservative approach, meaning if it was behind the entire formation, the false break behind the heel. And therefore I still need the 2-to-1. I have to go much bigger, go even higher. Here I have 2-to-1, now I have it set. That means if I had it set as a conservative trader, I would still be in the trade. I might have one R, but that's not enough. So let's wait and see if it would give the take profit or the stop loss. Let's wait. I'll extend it a little bit. So far, it's heading towards our take profit as expected, and we are closely monitoring the situation. Not yet, now we're out of the trade. We're out of the trade now beautifully. The price continues to go up. Both variants, like the aggressive one, I'm just out of the trade a bit earlier. Even the conservative trader has 2R at home. They've made a profit and they can focus on the next market. So this pair brought us a nice situation here with the breakout heavy test and gave us 2-to-1 without any problems. We speculated towards that swing, and subsequently there was a false breakout, then an R test, and once again we succeeded. These are 2 trades. It's an hourly time frame, and these are all simple strategies that I use and we have documented in the school. Take care.